The crystal spires of the Galactic Council headquarters pierced the purple sky of Centauri Prime, their surfaces reflecting the light of 3 setting suns. Inside the Grand Chamber, Ambassador Sarah Chen straightened her collar, her weathered hands smoothing out invisible wrinkles in her formal diplomatic uniform. The presentation was about to begin. "Honored representatives of the Galactic Council," she began, her voice steady despite the butterflies in her stomach. "Earth is proud to present our first interstellar warship, the TSS Tenacity." The holographic display activated, showing a vessel that immediately caused murmurs to ripple through the chamber. The Tenacity's hull bore the distinctive shapes of recycled space station modules, expertly welded together into a sleek but unconventional form. Its engine section displayed both traditional chemical thrusters and experimental FTL drive arrays, a hybrid approach that no other species had considered. From the upper tier, a Meridian delegate raised a crystalline appendage. "Ambassador, are we to understand that your species has constructed a military vessel from salvage?" Chen smiled, having anticipated this reaction. "The Tenacity represents humanity's approach to space exploration. We believe in honoring our history while embracing the future. Each component has been carefully chosen and modified for peak performance." The Orcs delegation, seated in their privileged position near the Council Center, exchanged glances. Their lead representative, Supreme Commander Cax, leaned forward. His scaled face remained neutral, but Chen caught the slight twitch of his auxiliary breathing gills, a tell she'd learned to recognize during previous negotiations. "Fascinating," Cax drawled, his universal translator giving his words a silky quality. "And these chemical thrusters, surely they're purely ceremonial." "No modern vessel would rely on such traditional propulsion. Every system serves a purpose, Commander," Chen replied, advancing the hologram to show the Tenacity's internal layout. "The chemical thrusters provide exceptional maneuverability in close-quarter situations, while our FTL system draws on multiple theoretical frameworks to achieve faster-than-light travel." The chamber's atmosphere shifted from diplomatic politeness to barely concealed amusement. A Volari representative chittered something to his colleague, their translation deliberately muted but their body language clear. They found the whole presentation entertaining. Chen continued undeterred, highlighting the ship's defensive systems, its adaptable cargo spaces, and its revolutionary sensor array. With each feature, she noticed the Orcs delegation's attention sharpening, their amusement falling away to be replaced by something else. Interest. Concern. "And what of its combat capabilities?" Cax interrupted, his tone carefully measured. "Surely you don't expect this museum piece to stand against modern threats. The Tenacity is fully equipped to handle defensive operations within Earth's sphere of influence." Chen responded, choosing her words carefully. "We believe its unique design offers advantages that might surprise those who underestimate it." This time, the laughter was more obvious. Several delegates didn't bother to hide their mirth. Only the Orcs remained stone-faced, their eyes fixed on the rotating hologram, with an intensity that made Chen's diplomatic instincts tingle. As the presentation concluded, Chen gathered her materials while the chamber buzzed with conversations, most discussing Earth's charming but primitive approach to spaceship design. She noticed Commander Cax in deep discussion with his advisors, their usual aristocratic composure replaced by urgent whispers and sharp gestures. Walking toward the chamber's exit, Chen allowed herself a small smile. Let them laugh. Let them dismiss the Tenacity as outdated or primitive. After all, humanity had learned long ago that true innovation often came from embracing the unexpected, from finding strength in what others considered obsolete. She had a feeling they would all learn that lesson soon enough. Captain Maya Rodriguez sat in the Tenacity's command chair, reviewing maintenance reports when the distress signal cut through the quiet bridge. The passenger liner Celestial Dream's automated beacon pulsed with urgency, its coordinates placing it just within range of their patrol route. "Signal analysis," Rodriguez asked, already plotting the fastest approach vector in her head. Lieutenant Park's fingers danced across his console. "Confirmed authentic." Celestial Dream is a luxury liner, currently carrying 300 passengers. Their defense systems are offline, and—" he paused, frowning. "Multiple unknown vessels detected in their vicinity." Rodriguez straightened. "Time to intercept. 18 minutes at maximum safe thrust," Park responded. "We're the only military vessel within range." The captain activated the ship-wide comm. "All hands, battle stations. Engineering, I need those chemical thrusters at full capacity. We might need some fancy footwork today." Chief Engineer Hassan's voice crackled back. "Already on it, Captain." The old girls are purring like kittens. As they approached, the tactical display revealed 3 sleek vessels surrounding the passenger liner. Their design was unmistakable. Cutting-edge ships equipped with the latest galactic tech. Pirates who'd somehow acquired military-grade hardware. "They're hailing us," Park announced. A gravelly voice filled the bridge. "Earth vessel, this is none of your concern. The Celestial Dream is under our protection now. Your outdated ship would only get in the way." Rodriguez smiled. "This is Captain Rodriguez of the TSS Tenacity. We'll be taking custody of the Celestial Dream. Power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded." Laughter echoed through the comm. "Did you hear that, boys? They want us to surrender to their antique." The pirate vessels moved to intercept, their energy weapons charging. They expected an easy victory against Earth's primitive warship. They were wrong. "Execute Pattern Delta," Rodriguez ordered. "Let's show them what this antique can do." The Tenacity's chemical thrusters roared to life, executing a maneuver that no modern ship could match. While advanced propulsion systems excelled at straight-line acceleration, they lacked the raw thrust and precision that chemical rockets provided. The Tenacity pirouetted between enemy ships, its recycled hull components absorbing their energy weapons like they were mere light shows. "Their shields are calibrated for energy weapons," Hassan reported gleefully. "They got nothing against good old-fashioned tungsten slugs." The Tenacity's coil guns spoke, launching hypervelocity projectiles that passed straight through the pirates' energy shields. Precision strikes disabled their engines and weapons without risking catastrophic hull breaches. 2 vessels disabled," Park announced. "The third is attempting tow." The final pirate ship suddenly lost power, its systems overloaded by the Tenacity's electromagnetic pulse missiles, another primitive weapon that proved devastatingly effective against sophisticated galactic technology. Within minutes, the Tenacity's security teams had boarded all 3 vessels. Rodriguez watched the boarding operation from her command chair, noting with interest the markings on the seized weapons. They seemed unusually familiar. "Captain," her security chief called over the comm. "You need to see this. The hardware we're finding. It's not black market. This is military-grade Orcs equipment, fresh from their factories." Rodriguez's expression hardened as she remembered the dismissive looks during their presentation to the council. "Document everything. I have a feeling Ambassador Chen will want to see this." The Celestial Dream's captain sent his gratitude, but Rodriguez barely heard it. Her mind was already racing ahead, wondering why Orcs military hardware had found its way into pirate hands, and why these attacks were becoming more frequent in Earth's sector of space. Ambassador Chen studied the holographic evidence floating above her desk, each piece connecting to form a disturbing pattern. Captain Rodriguez's report from the Celestial Dream incident had sparked an investigation that revealed far more than simple piracy. "Play the manufacturing data again," she instructed her AI assistant. The hologram shifted, displaying serial numbers from the captured weapons. Each one traced back to Orcs military facilities, all manufactured within the last solar cycle. Her secure terminal chimed. "Ambassador," Captain Rodriguez's face appeared on screen. "We've completed our analysis of the attack patterns. You're going to want to see this." New data streamed into Chen's office. A map of recent pirate activities materialized, showing a clear pattern of escalation along Earth's trading routes. Each incident pushed closer to vital supply lines, each attack more sophisticated than the last. The timing is precise, Rodriguez explained. These attacks intensified exactly 3 months after we announced the Tenacity's maiden voyage. Too precise to be coincidental. Chen's hands moved through the holographic display, connecting data points, and each attack used weapons that somehow slipped through Arcsid military security, a military that prides itself on perfect inventory control. Her assistant interrupted with a priority message. The Arcsid delegation requested an emergency council session to discuss the growing security crisis in Earth's sector. Chen arrived at the council chambers to find the gallery packed. Supreme Commander Cax stood at the central podium, his scales gleaming under the chamber's lights. "The situation is clear," Cax declared. "The increasing incidents of piracy demonstrate the need for experienced protection in Earth's sector. We propose establishing a permanent Arcsid peacekeeping force to ensure the safety of all trading vessels." Chen stepped forward. "The Council's attention, please." She activated her data crystal, projecting the evidence above the chamber. "We've uncovered interesting details about these attacks." Manufacturing dates, serial numbers, and attack patterns filled the air. Every weapon captured from these pirates originated from Arcsid military facilities. Each attack followed a precise pattern, pushing closer to Earth's vital trade routes. Murmurs filled the chamber. Cax's auxiliary gills fluttered rapidly. "Ambassador, surely you're not suggesting—" "I suggest nothing," Chen interrupted smoothly. "I merely present facts. Facts that show an interesting correlation between these attacks and your proposal for a permanent military presence in our space." The Meridian delegate's crystalline form shimmered. "These are serious implications, Ambassador. Do you have proof beyond circumstantial evidence? Perhaps we should discuss the quantum signature analysis of the weapons control systems," Chen suggested, "or the encrypted communication logs recovered from the captured vessels. Logs using current Arcsid military protocols." Cax's composure cracked slightly. "The Council cannot trust analysis from primitive Earth technology." "Then let neutral observers examine the evidence," Chen proposed, "unless there's a reason to avoid independent verification." The chamber erupted in discussion. Chen noticed several delegates already forming informal groups, their private conversations intense. The Volari representative, who had laughed at the Tenacity's presentation, now watched the Arcsid delegation with new interest. Supreme Commander Cax called for a recess, his usual diplomatic smile replaced by a tight expression. As the chamber cleared, Chen received an encrypted message from Captain Rodriguez. More Arcsid ships had been detected moving toward Earth's border worlds. The game was changing. Chen just hoped they had enough time to prove their case before the Arcsid made their next move. The Tenacity glided through the darkness of space, its sensors scanning the disputed sector near Earth's outer colonies. Captain Rodriguez reviewed the patrol route on her tactical display, noting the unusual silence in this normally busy shipping lane. "Status report," she ordered, noting how her bridge crew maintained their focus despite 12 hours of heightened alert. "All systems nominal," Lieutenant Park responded from his station. Though, he adjusted his sensors. "There's something odd about the background radiation. It's slightly elevated in Sector 7. Chief Engineer Hassan's voice came through the comm. "Captain, I'm detecting micro-fluctuations in our power grid, almost like someone's probing our systems." Rodriguez straightened in her chair. "Full diagnostic. Park, expand sensor range to maximum. Hassan, initiate countermeasure protocol Delta." The bridge crew worked with practiced efficiency, but Rodriguez saw the tension in their movements. They'd all read the briefings about Arcsid tactics, about how they tested defenses before striking. "Multiple contacts." Park's voice cut through the silence. 7. No, 9 vessels decloaking. Arcsid signatures confirmed. The tactical display bloomed with red dots as sleek warships materialized around them. The Tenacity found itself at the center of a 3-dimensional web, each Arcsid vessel positioned to cut off potential escape vectors. "They're hailing us," Park announced. The main screen activated, revealing Supreme Commander Cax's scaled face. Captain Rodriguez, what a fortunate encounter. We detected anomalous readings in this sector and came to investigate. Your presence here is concerning. This is recognized Earth space, Commander, Rodriguez replied evenly. The Tenacity is well within its patrol route. But after recent security incidents, the Council granted us temporary authority to inspect vessels in disputed regions. Surely you received the notification. Rodriguez glanced at her intelligence officer, who shook his head slightly. No such authorization had been issued. Your weapons are charged, Commander, Rodriguez noted. Standard inspection protocols require approaching with defensive systems powered down. Cax's smile widened. A regrettable necessity, given your ship's unpredictable nature. Now, power down your systems and prepare for boarding. We wouldn't want any unfortunate accidents with your primitive technology. Rodriguez noticed subtle movements among the Orcs ships. They were adjusting their positions, tightening the net, but something about their formation seemed off. Hassan, she whispered through her private comm. Those power fluctuations, could they have been testing for specific weaknesses? Yes, Captain, came the quiet reply. They're looking for vulnerabilities in modern systems. They don't understand how much of our tech operates on different principles entirely. Rodriguez allowed herself a small smile. The Orcs had positioned themselves perfectly to counter a modern warship, but the Tenacity was anything but modern. Commander Cax, she addressed the screen. I'm afraid we'll have to decline your inspection request. Her hands moved across her command console, initiating a sequence they'd practiced but never tested in combat. In fact, I believe it's time to show you exactly what this primitive ship can do. The trap had been sprung, but not, perhaps, in the way the Orcs had planned. The Tenacity's chemical thrusters ignited with precise bursts, the ship spinning in ways that made the Orcs targeting systems struggle to maintain lock. Captain Rodriguez watched as confusion spread across Commander Cax's face on the view screen. Maximum power to forward shields. Cax barked to his crew as the Tenacity accelerated directly toward his flagship. Interesting assumption, Commander, Rodriguez replied calmly. Hassan, initiate radiation absorption protocols. The Tenacity's recycled hull segments began to glow as they absorbed the Orcs' energy weapons, the specialized materials, originally designed for solar radiation shielding, converting the incoming fire into usable power. Hassan's voice came through with obvious pride. Power reserves at 115%, Captain. Their weapons are actually charging our systems. The Orcs' ships adjusted formation, trying to predict the Tenacity's erratic movement pattern. But there was no pattern. Each thrust was manually controlled, each maneuver uniquely human in its improvisation. Launch countermeasures, Rodriguez ordered. The Tenacity released what appeared to be simple metal debris. The Orcs ignored it, their advanced sensors dismissing it as space junk. Then the debris field erupted with electromagnetic pulses. Cax's image flickered as his ship's quantum communications network crashed. What is this primitive trickery? Quantum networks are impressive, Rodriguez explained, watching 3 Orcs ships go dark as their systems failed. But sometimes old-fashioned radio waves work just fine. Lieutenant Park, switch to backup frequencies. The Tenacity's crew smoothly transitioned to their secondary systems, while the Orcs ships struggled to reboot their complex networks. Their formation broke as each captain tried to compensate independently, creating gaps in their carefully planned trap. They're attempting to engage their quantum drives, Park reported. Standard escape protocol for their fleet. Rodriguez nodded. Deploy the gravity anchors. More debris activated, creating localized distortions that played havoc with the Orcs' sensitive drive systems. The advanced ships found themselves bound by simple physics, unable to escape through their sophisticated quantum gates. Targeting their weapon systems, Park announced. Conventional munitions ready. The Tenacity's coil guns launched precisely calculated shots, designed not to destroy but to disable. Each impact struck with surgical precision, guided by targeting computers that blended modern analytics with proven ballistic calculations. Status report. Rodriguez commanded, watching the Arcsid fleet's coordinated attack dissolve into chaos. 5 ships disabled, 2 experiencing cascading system failures, and Commander Cax's flagship is trapped in our gravity net, Park reported. All accomplished without a single hull breach. Hassan's laughter echoed through the comm. Should we show them what else our primitive ship can do, Captain? I believe they've learned enough for one day, Rodriguez replied, opening a channel to Cax's struggling flagship. Commander, shall we discuss terms, or would you prefer another demonstration of outdated human technology? The Galactic Council's emergency session chamber buzzed with activity as representatives watched the combat footage from the Tenacity's encounter. Ambassador Chen stood quietly as the recording showed her ship's unconventional tactics systematically dismantling the Arcsid fleet. The Meridian delegate's crystalline form pulsed with intense colors. Remarkable. Their recycled hull components actually absorbed our most advanced weapons. Not just absorbed, the Volari technical analyst interrupted, manipulating the holographic display. They converted the energy into usable power. The efficiency ratings are unprecedented. Footage played of the Tenacity executing its irregular maneuvers, chemical thrusters firing in patterns that defied standard combat algorithms. A Nexus scientist's tentacles writhed in excitement as they analyzed the data. Their navigation systems ignored quantum calculations entirely, they noted. Pure Newtonian physics, executed with precision our computers can't match. It's elegant in its simplicity. The Arcsid representative remained conspicuously absent, their flagship still undergoing repairs after the encounter. However, their allies watched the proceedings with growing unease as more tactical data emerged. The electromagnetic countermeasures, a Sentinel combat specialist observed. So basic, yet they bypassed our most sophisticated shielding. We've become too reliant on quantum technology. Ambassador Chen finally stepped forward. The Tenacity represents more than just Earth's military capabilities. It demonstrates our philosophy. True innovation means understanding fundamentals, not just advancing technology. The chamber's atmosphere had shifted dramatically from the mockery of their first presentation. Now delegates huddled in groups, discussing the implications. Several trade representatives approached Chen, seeking information about Earth's hybrid technology approach. Your ship's medical bay, a Healer Guild representative inquired. It combines modern regeneration techniques with traditional surgical tools. Yes, Chen confirmed. We found certain procedures are more effective with direct physical intervention. Not everything needs quantum manipulation. More footage played, showing the Tenacity's gravity anchors neutralizing the Arcsid's quantum drives. The Volari delegate's translator clicked rapidly. They turned our own advanced technology against us, they remarked. Perhaps we've been pursuing advancement along too narrow a path. A junior Arcsid diplomat hurried into the chamber, delivering a message to the council chair. The chair's expression turned grave as they read. We're receiving reports of similar hybrid technology being deployed across Earth's defense fleet, they announced. Each vessel apparently unique, combining different aspects of traditional and modern engineering. The chamber erupted in discussion. Chen noticed several military observers exchanging concerned glances. Earth's approach to space warfare hadn't just challenged their tactical assumptions, it had shattered them completely. The message was clear. Humanity had found strength not in blindly pursuing technological advancement, but in understanding the fundamental principles that govern the universe. And that understanding had just reshaped the balance of power in the galaxy. Captain Rodriguez stood at the Tenacity's communication station, reviewing the final data package. The ship's quantum-hardened transmitters hummed as they prepared to broadcast across all frequencies, from basic radio waves to the most sophisticated channels. Package compilation complete, Lieutenant Park reported. All evidence has been verified and encrypted with independent signatures from 3 neutral species. The evidence was damning. Recovered communication logs, weapons serial numbers, financial transactions, and tactical data from the disabled Arcsid ships. Most crucially, they had found deployment orders signed by Supreme Commander Cax himself, detailing the staged pirate attacks. "Begin transmission," Rodriguez ordered. The broadcast started with the Celestial Dream incident, showing how the pirates used current-generation Arcsid military protocols. It continued through their investigation, revealing a pattern of orchestrated attacks designed to destabilize Earth's trade routes. Across the galaxy, communication channels lit up. The Meridian Collective received the transmission through their crystalline networks, their entire civilization resonating with the implications. Volari trading posts buzzed with activity as merchants recognized similar patterns in their own territories. "Incoming responses," Park announced. "The Sentinel Defense Network confirms matching signatures from attacks in their space. The Nexus archives are releasing records of similar incidents dating back 3 cycles." Ambassador Chen's voice came through a secure channel. "The council chamber is in an uproar. The Healer Guild just revealed they found Arcsid signatures in raids on medical facilities. The Arcsid delegation is demanding the evidence be suppressed." The Tenacity's broadcast continued, showing their recent battle. The footage highlighted how the Arcsid ships had been prepared with specific countermeasures against Earth vessels, preparations that could only come from detailed military planning. "Multiple fleets are repositioning," Park reported. 3 Volari battle groups just dropped out of quantum space near our position. They're offering support and requesting tactical data exchange. More voices joined the channel. Representatives from dozens of species shared their own experiences of Arcsid manipulation. Trade routes disrupted, colonies pressured, technology stolen, all part of a systematic campaign to maintain technological superiority. "The Arcsid quantum network is going dark," Hassan observed. "They're trying to shut down communication channels." "Too late," Rodriguez replied. "Switch to emergency frequencies." The Tenacity's old-style radio transmitters activated, broadcasting on wavelengths the Arcsid had long dismissed as obsolete. Across the sector, Earth's other ships followed suit, creating a communication network that couldn't be silenced by quantum interference. "Message from Earth Command," Park announced. "Additional ships are being deployed to secure our borders. The Meridians and Volari have offered joint patrols." Rodriguez watched as the galaxy's communication networks blazed with activity. The truth was out, spreading faster than any attempt to contain it. Ancient radio waves carried their message alongside quantum signals, reaching every corner of known space. The age of Arcsid technological supremacy was ending, not with advanced weapons, but with the simple power of truth broadcast on frequencies they have forgotten existed. The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council had never been so crowded. Representatives from every spacefaring species filled the tiered seats, their attention focused on the central podium, where Ambassador Chen stood beside Captain Rodriguez. Supreme Commander Cax and his senior staff sat in the defendant section, their scales dulled from stress. The evidence against them had proven irrefutable, confirmed by multiple independent investigations. "The Council recognizes Earth's delegation," the chair announced, their voice carrying across the hushed chamber. Chen stepped forward. "We stand at a turning point. The recent events have revealed not just deception, but a fundamental flaw in how we measure progress." The holographic display activated, showing the Tenacity alongside vessels from a dozen different species. Each ship represented a unique approach to space travel, combining traditional methods with advanced technology in ways previously dismissed as impossible. "The Volari have already begun incorporating our radiation absorption techniques into their designs," Chen continued. "The Meridian Collective is exploring applications of mechanical backup systems. The Healer Guild reports success using traditional surgical techniques enhanced by quantum diagnostics." Rodriguez took her place at the podium. The Tenacity was never meant to prove superiority. It demonstrated that progress isn't a single path forward. Sometimes it means looking back to move ahead. The chamber's display shifted to show the new joint patrol fleets. Earth vessels flew alongside ships from various species, each contributing unique strengths to their shared mission. "We propose establishing an interstellar innovation exchange," Chen announced, "not to share technology, but to share understanding. Every species has something to teach, and more importantly, something to learn." The council voted unanimously to accept the proposal. As they formalized the resolution, Rodriguez noticed how the chamber's atmosphere had changed from their first presentation. The dismissive smirks were gone, replaced by genuine respect and curiosity. "The Orcs delegation will face sanctions," the chair declared. "But more importantly, this incident has taught us all a valuable lesson. True advancement comes not from discarding the past, but from understanding it." Outside the chamber, ships from across the galaxy orbited Centauri Prime. Among them, the Tenacity held position, its recycled hull components gleaming under the light of 3 suns. Once mocked as outdated, it now stood as a symbol of innovation. "Captain," Chen said quietly as they left the chamber, "they're still debating whether to classify the Tenacity as a museum piece." Rodriguez smiled. "They can call it whatever they want. We know the truth. Sometimes the oldest solutions solve the newest problems." Above them, the stars beckoned, promising new challenges and discoveries. But now, the galaxy faced them together, understanding that progress meant more than chasing the newest technology. It meant wisdom to learn from the past, courage to question assumptions, and humility to admit that sometimes the best way forward was to remember where you came from.